What's up, y'all? Welcome to this week's very strange and very different episode of Split View. This is episode number 13, which I guess helped make sense of how this turned out today, but I had like a really cool sheet of notes made up for the show, and we were planning on doing a remote broadcast today. They're having a cookout here for the school. They like to do a lot of cool stuff like that, but we had been set up for a remote broadcast out there and started pouring rain. If you're with us in Northeast Ohio, I'm sure you know what I mean. So I went ahead and set the camera up because, you know, the way news is, it's pretty much over after a week passes. So I do want to at least hit something today. I have these notes still. Let's get into the show. I basically just grabbed the camera. I did just grab the camera and went into a studio. Josh is not here this week. He had started talking about that last week, how he's on vacation. So shout out to Josh, first of all. And Poison, I'm not sure what's up with her, but I know I'm here. This is Split View. We do this show every Tuesday, usually at 3 o'clock on North Coast Underground. Find that at northcoastunderground.com. And we are a variety and comedy talk show. Go over a bunch of different stuff, local news, U.S. news. And if you're into that kind of thing, you're definitely going to want to hang around. But if this is the first episode you ever saw of the show, you might want to go back and watch like last week's or the week before to really get the idea how this show normally is. I really just didn't want to let a week go without getting anything up for this. So this is just is by the seat of my pants. All right, I think that's enough intro. Let's get to the show, huh? I am still Kramer. And I usually like to start this show off every week by kind of discussing how my week went. And it's been another interesting one school-wise. Like, we have month-long classes, right? And they're called a block. And there's 8 blocks in this program. If you're ever interested in doing it, the basic program only takes 8 months. And it is going by quick. I just started my 5th block today, and it feels like it's just been flying by. Once you get these projects and you start getting into them and you're doing your shows every week, time flies for sure. So really it's just been more of that. I've really been working hard with my YouTube channel all this week, and for the past couple weeks I've brought it up a few times. If you're watching this, you're probably watching it on my YouTube channel, Kramer Radio and Productions. If not, please go there, because I need a bunch of subscribers. Like, I'm still having a hard time getting subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet and you're watching this, please hit that stupid button. But that's pretty much been my week, right? I spent my weekend pretty much stressing because I didn't get a video done I wanted to get done. And then I planned on coming up to the school Monday, but I didn't get up here until later, and then they were closed earlier. It was just one thing after another this weekend. How about you guys? I want to know how you guys have been all week. If you're watching this, please go ahead and drop something in the comments. Let me know how you've been. But usually at this point of the show, I like to I don't like to call. I like to turn next to me to Josh and do some trivia. Well, of course, Josh isn't here today, so as a bit of a backup plan, we're still going to do some trivia to start off today's show. I told you this was by the seat of my pants, so give me a break here for how professional this looks. We're going to call our contestant. All right? See if we can get a hold of her. Ringity dingity. Hello, you are on Split View. You're the lucky winner. You're the only one in the drawing, but you won. You get to be a contestant on a quiz. I know, good times. So for backup purposes, I had to call my girlfriend. I'm solo dolo in here today. And I like to start off this show every week by doing these quizzes and kind of getting into different trivia and just seeing where people's heads are at, because I think it's funny sometimes, some of the answers we get. And Jane's definitely an interesting one. So let's see what Jane's thinking today, huh? Jane, what are the names of Cinderella's stepsisters?
I'm just kidding you right now.
You should know, you pretty much are Cinderella. Clean my house, Cinderella, Cinderella. Yeah, so you should know. Who are your sisters?
Anna and Brenda.
Close. It is Anastasia and Drizella.
I have no idea. You know, I wonder if pencils I read Cinderella.
Well, you got that Anna right, kind of.
Kind of.
Okay, this is one that if you don't get right, I'm going to come home and throw something at you. What famous U.S. festival hosted over 350,000 fans in 1969? Music festival, 1969.
Woodstock.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to roll now.
What is the biggest selling music single of all time? I've never even heard of this. It's from 1997, if that helps you at all.
No, not at all.
It's apparently a song called Candle in the Wind.
Is that Elton John?
I don't know. 1997 Candle in the Wind is apparently the biggest selling music single. Well, if anybody knows what the hell Candle in the Wind is, you can go ahead and let me know in the comments. In the state of Georgia, what do you think it's illegal to eat with a fork?
What was that again?
When you're in the state of Georgia, what is it illegal to eat with a fork?
A peach.
No, it is actually fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Yeah, do you eat your fried chicken with a fork?
Yeah.
Well, we can't take you to Georgia. Iceland diverted roads to avoid disturbing communities of what? So Iceland had this whole community of these kind of people, and they had to actually divert the road around them so it wouldn't bother them.
Well, it definitely ain't a penguin.
No, not a penguin. It kind of walks like a penguin, though. It's about the same height. Elves. Elves. Close.
Oh, hey, A Candle in the Wind is by Elton John.
Alright, well, you get a bonus point then, I guess.
I knew that one.
I guess. You didn't know the name of the song, though.
No, I didn't know the name of the song in 97, but I knew the same.
So you know what it's illegal to do in Georgia now. Moving on to Florida. While you're in public places in Florida, what is illegal to do while you have your swimsuit on? That is correct. Sing.
Sing?
In Florida, it is apparently against the law to sing while wearing your swimsuit. Yeah. Who do you think invented the word vomit?
I have no idea.
Very famous writer from way back when, like the 1500s, 1600s.
Hemingway is the only thing I can think of.
That's about 300 years off. It would be Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, Shakespeare. How long do you think New Zealand's 90-mile beach is? Trick question.
90 miles?
55.
55?
I do not know why they've been calling it the 90-mile, but it's 55 miles. Here's one. You got just a couple more. When held to an ultraviolet light, what animal's urine glows in the dark? No guesses?
Where'd you go, Kramer?
Are you with me?
I think I lost you.
Hello? That's live radio for you. Let's try again. Are you back with me? Hello? We try one more time, and then I'm gonna give up. Hello? Okay, there you are. Alright, now we got her back. That is the beauty of live radio. Okay, so did you hear the last question?
No, I did not. It went silent.
When held to ultraviolet light, what animal's urine glows in the dark?
Dog?
We would be able to test this theory very easily.
Oh, cats.
It is cats. We have 4 cats at home.
I'm standing right here looking at 3 of them.
Yeah, you want to take some of their pee? See if this works?
I think I'm going to pass because it's all pumped in the litter right now.
Well, we're going to give you that job, and you can check back in with us next week then. What animal, though, cannot stick out its tongue?
A chicken.
Crocodile. 2 more questions. You're doing horrible. So let's see if you can nail these last 2. What was Walt Disney afraid of? Hello? Janet? Oh my God, this is how my day's been going all day. You're on Split View.
Hello?
Hello?
Let me come out of the basement. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, we only have 2 more questions.
Okay.
What was Walt Disney afraid of?
Pinocchio.
No, but it's something you wouldn't think. It's something kind of ironic that Walt Disney would be afraid of it.
Animation?
Oh, you are thinking way too hard.
I have no idea. I'm not thinking
Mice.
at all. That's the problem. Mice.
Yes, nice.
Oh.
And last but not least, a locally themed question, as we've talked about a few silly laws today. On Sunday in Columbus, it is illegal to sell what? Hello? Oh my gosh. So I think we figured out we can, at this point, pretty much key her in for like 1 question at a time, and then the phone says nope. So let's try one more time. Hello?
What hanging up on me?
You keep hanging up on the show. Ugh. I think it's my phone, honestly. My phone's been doing this weird thing where it's like, I don't even have to press buttons, it just keeps doing stuff, and I think it just keeps putting her on mute, but we're gonna make her think it's her phone. Holy heck, are you still with me? No, you're leaving me.
I am outside and, yep, I have full bars.
So last question.
Okay.
On Sundays in Columbus, Ohio, what is it illegal to do? There's something you can't sell. Sundays in Columbus, Ohio.
Alcohol.
That would be everywhere. No, this is just in Columbus.
Just in Columbus. Whiskey?
That's a kind of alcohol.
Yeah, it is, but, smoke?
Oh, you're never gonna get this.
Probably not.
Cornflakes.
I need help. Where's Josh?
Cornflakes is the answer.
Cornflakes.
Cannot sell cornflakes. Well, thank you very much for being on Split View today. You definitely lost.
Of course.
But it was nice having you. Make sure you keep listening.
I sure will.
And for the rest of you, I will be back here in just a moment, get a little bit of U.S. news, and get this thing done and wrapped up. See you. I just realized that entire first segment, I had the camera pushed too low down so you could only see like my chin. And I am definitely not recording it again, so like I said, this is very much a fly by the seat of your pants, whatever the hell that means, kind of show. But welcome back to today's episode, or something like that, of Split View. And this is where I normally get into some U.S. news, so trying to get things back on track, let's jump into some of that. And this first story I saw today, man, I think this is pretty cool. There's apparently a movie coming out called The Many Saints of Newark. And this is going to be a prequel movie to The Sopranos. Now, if you're a Sopranos fan, which I was, this isn't exactly what you were hoping for, right? If anything, the way Sopranos left off, like, I would want to see what's going on after that. Like, I would want a post-quill. Is that what you would call it, a post-quill? I don't know, man. I just want to know what happened when they came into that deli, right? At the last episode of Sopranos, the finale left off is such a cliffhanger. But instead of that, they're bringing back the original story, right, the prequel, and it's going to follow a young Tony Soprano while he grows up with Christopher Moltisanti's uncle, who is going to be named, I had it there too and I lost it, Dickie Moltisanti, who was kind of his original liaison, there's a nice big word, the original liaison for Tony into the mob. So it's really just backstory, right? The cool thing I thought, where it kind of talked about a little bit of what the plot for this movie is going to be. And it said that it's kind of going to, in the Sopranos, you got to see how Tony was a very ruthless mob boss and how cold he was. Well, with this, you're going to see a teenage Tony and how he became the Tony that we saw in Sopranos, and how a loving, sensitive kid. And we do know that Tony Soprano has that side to him. He was going to the psychiatrist throughout the whole run of the show. But of course, he learns to shove that down while he's in the mob. But you get to kind of see before that was shoved down in this movie. And I want to bring this up also because I think it leads pretty well into a different topic, which is, what do you guys think about sequels? It's starting to seem like it's not even starting. It has been a big money ticket in Hollywood. Sequels, prequels. If there's a entity or a vehicle, I don't know what I mean. If there's like a project, right, that was successful, that's what I'm getting at, then they're going to try to find a way to recreate that and make more money off of it. And it seems like 90% of the time, more like 80%, like good three quarters of the time, it's crap. And that's where I think I would settle. I'd say about 75% are crap and 25% are worth it. Drop in the comments and let me know what you think, okay? Will you, if you're a fan of The Sopranos, if you watch the original Sopranos, will you spend money to go watch this? It's apparently a movie, so I'm trying to see, and I should have done all this earlier, but I was not very ready. Yeah, it was originally slated, this movie, for a September 2020 release. Got delayed because of the pandemic, and is now going to be coming out in U.S. theaters. So this is a theatered release movie coming out October 1st, but 31 days after that, so actually almost on my birthday, which is November 1st. You want to give me something? It'll be streaming on HBO Max, so afterwards, if you want to stream it, you're going to have to get HBO Max. So again, this leads back to my question. Will you watch this? If you're going to watch it, how will you watch it? Are you going to go check this out in the theaters, or are you going to wait until you can stream it at home? And with sequels, is there a sequel that you want to see? What sequel are you just dying to see? You think they can't screw this sequel up, they need to make it. I want you to drop that in the comments as well, because we can talk about this more next week, and I'm curious what people's answers are. The other thing, though, before I move on, is like all these different streaming services, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. There's so many like different shows that I enjoy, different genres, different styles, and they don't fall or line in together very well. And it used to be that like with a Netflix or a Hulu, I could get most of what I wanted to watch. I might have to, pick up one other app to get like one show, but that would be it. But now it's getting so split down and splintered down that there's like 15 different, major streaming services, and each one has a different property, a different show that's like the headline of their streaming service. So if you want to see that show, say you're a fan of, this. You want to see this on HBO Max. Now you got to buy HBO Max. Say you have Netflix because you like what comes out on there. You have Hulu because they have some series you like. And then they come out with this Friends reunion, okay? And you want to see that? Well, that's another app. And at what point does it get to where it's not even worth it anymore? Because the whole point of streaming, or at least my understanding, is the whole point was to cut the cord, get rid of cable and be able to spend less money but get the same quality of entertainment by really picking and choosing what you want. And it doesn't seem to be the model anymore for streaming the way it's spreading out now. So that's one other thing I want you to definitely drop in the comments. Package this all into one. Let me know what you think about these sequels. Let me know what you're looking for. And let me know what your thoughts are on streaming and where it stands right now. Just consider that I'm going to go ahead and make this up right now. We're going to call that the listener question of the day. You drop that answer for me in the comments. Moving on, though. There was one other thing that I wanted to get into. It was just, oh man, it's not a funny story. It's really sad, right? Because it's a story about a guy and his drug addiction. But there is a moral to this story. And the moral is, if you do meth, don't get on an airplane. See, apparently a passenger tried to break into an airplane cockpit last week, and he was under the influence of methamphetamine during this. Victoria Dominguez, this is a man. I thought this was a little interesting. I don't know if this is more of a Latino thing, so maybe I'm the one who's being ignorant, but I thought that was an interesting name. But Victoria Dominguez of Mexico broke his leg Friday when he opened the plane's emergency exit and jumped to the tarmac at the LA airport. He's underwent surgery and is now expected to appear in a federal court this week on a charge of interference with a flight crew. The maximum for which is 20 years in prison. He's not going to get anywhere near that. The story, though, and it's the story that's most interesting, right? So it kind of jumps down a few paragraphs and it gets into what actually happened this day. This is from last week. The 33-year-old arrived in LA on Tuesday from Mexico. His plan was to get to Salt Lake City, but he did not have a connecting flight. So he then spent the night at a downtown LA hotel and drank several beers and bought, quote, a lot of crystal meth for $20. Just real quick, let me tell you that you can get a lot of that crap for $20. There's this thing among drug users where they call meth the cheap man's cocaine. And there's a reason for that. It's because $20 of coke is going to get you, one tiny little line. $20 of meth is going to last a tweaker like 2-3 days. So yeah, but it screws them up so much too. Like cocaine doesn't necessarily have the psychosis that comes with some of this meth. Anyway, though, the next day he says he continued to smoke the meth and decided to fly to Utah instead of taking a bus. Brilliant idea, right? He then smoked more of the drug before heading to the airport Thursday, but ultimately missed his flight and wandered the streets throughout the night. Friday, he then missed a second flight. Victoria Rodriguez eventually was rescheduled to board United Airlines Flight 536 to fly to Salt Lake City. The passenger who sat next to Victoria during this flight said that the man was whispering constantly, appearing very fidgety and nervous, and kept telling her that he was going to jump out of the plane. The man himself, Victoria, though, actually countered and says in his complaint that he ran from the plane because he heard people whispering about him and saying that the plane's not really going to Salt Lake City. This is the kind of thing that happens when you're tweaked out on meth and you've been up for a few days. You end up thinking, oh, everybody's out to get you. So apparently that's what happened to dude, and his next best plan was pop one up out of the plane. So we'll have to see what kind of time he gets for that. That was what's the craziest thing you've ever seen on a plane? Let's leave that into there. And I'm going to hit a commercial break real quick. I'm going to come back and really just start to wrap this crap up because it's been a weird show. But I do have just like 2 more things I want to get to, and we'll make this a nice little 3-segment show for the day. If you are watching this, thank you so much. This is not normally how the show is. Go check out older episodes. I'm just having fun. And I will be right back. Hey y'all, what's up? This is the the kind of day I'm having. That's what this is. I have to go ahead and perform some on-the-fly surgery. Cause I just really don't feel like getting up and pressing stop. Wait, righty tighty, lefty, yeah. Need to think about what way right would be. Okay, but now what? There we go. Now, both for the record, because I know Josh won't hesitate to point it out, that's the second time this has happened to me in 2 weeks on this show. Anyways, you are back with the Chicken Man Kramer, and this is something like Split View, I guess. Yeah. Now, normally Split View is on every Tuesday at 3 o'clock on North Coast Underground. That's northcoastunderground.com. Please check us out. And if this is one of your first times watching this, please go back and watch some other ones. This isn't normally how the show goes. As I explained at the beginning though, very weird day. I wanted to make sure to put something out, so here I am, my beautiful self. And I at least managed to get the camera on myself this time, so even though things are falling apart everywhere around me, I feel like I'm doing good. Normally this show is an hour long and we do 4 different segments. But for today, I really want to wrap this up, and I'm going to go ahead and stick local news in my last segment together and get this done in 3. Before I forget, though, if you are not a fan on our Facebook page, please go to Facebook, look up our page's keyword, which is SplitView216, and make sure to like that page. I put everything for this show on there, so you're going to want to be on there. And if you have any answers to the questions or comments or anything you want to shoot to us at this show, drop it in the comments and I will make sure to address it in the next episode, or you can send it to me in email, splitview216@gmail.com. So this would normally be where I throw in the local news. Today's local news, I pretty much decided to skip because it's a little rough. But I don't want to completely skip it, so I'm going to take just a brief moment to say that there's a family on Berea right now that my thoughts are going out to. We checked out on the news this morning. Actually, the first time I saw this was just this morning, sitting with Jane. There is a lake on Berea right next to where I used to live. I had an apartment in Berea for a long time, and there's a place called Wallace Lake, which is a very popular fishing and swimming spot. Well, yesterday, apparently, a family with a father and 6 kids went in to swim in a non-swimming area. 4 of them were able to get back out, but the adult and 2 kids were found drowned today. And that's very sad news. Like I said, thoughts to the family. It is actually the first ever documented drowning at this lake. When I heard it, I was really confused because when you look at it, it doesn't really look like a dangerous lake, but what they were saying on the news was that there's areas of it basically that are dangerous, and that's why they're roped off. And they said in this article that the Metro Parks had sent out a statement basically saying, please only swim in designated areas, and this is why. Very sad news there. And over in Cleveland, the other piece of local news I had was about that mess of a Mariel? It's a girl. Marion? I don't know. Mariel. It's not right. I know it's not right. The mayor race. And somebody dropped out of that, apparently. So it was a name I didn't even know. But my prediction from the other week when Kucinich had declared that he's going to run, Dennis Kucinich, and then I said, man, I bet you this is going to get to be like 7 or 8 names real quick. Even with the name that just dropped out, there are still 7 different names left on the ballot. As of right now, we are looking at Justin Bibb, Ross DiBello, Bashir Jones, Kevin Kelly, Dennis Kucinich, Zach Reed, and Sabrina Wilson. Out of those names, the only two I honestly know are Dennis Kucinich, who was a congressman from this area, UFO enthusiast, very interesting guy. And Zach Reed is a congressman from the east side of Cleveland who I happen to know just because he's always on the news. So I feel like he has a good leg up in this race, and we'll just kind of have to see how things keep playing out. But I think it's interesting. Like, this seems to be the trend for elections now, is that it's no longer going to be just like 2 to 3 people running in races. We're going to have these big collections to choose from. So that was it for today's local news. And the other bit of local news is, if you don't already realize this, it is friggin' hot out there. Alright? So if you're paying attention to me like sweating on camera, just know I have a good excuse. Oh man, I was so not prepared for this show. So this is where I normally do my horoscope, and what we like to do towards the end of the show is to go ahead and go over our horoscope. We usually do it for each of us and kind of compare it to how our week has went and is going. And we like to use this as a barometer to see how well we feel some of these different sites' horoscopes are. I'm taking so long to introduce this because I did not have my horoscope ready to go. This is what happens, man, when you are, when I'm thrown off my regular routine. So we're using Astro Style lately. Head over to Astro Style Weekly Horoscopes and go ahead and tap on Scorpio. I am the Scorpio. It's an awesome sign. What's up, fellow Scorpio? This weekly challenge is a familiar one. Balancing your home life with your professional one. Oh boy, don't I know it. With Mars getting into it with 2 major planets within 48 hours, you may have to endure a heavier than usual load and wind up feeling relief by the end of it all. How that's going to work. On Thursday, July 1st, your co-ruler, activating Mars, who's blasting through your career zone, aligns in an exact opposition with responsible and guilt-inducing Saturn in your domestic quarters. These two only meet up like this once every year, so both the problem and the opportunity here is huge. Your devoted sign feels an obligation to be there for your people, but under this willful confrontation, you won't have the bandwidth for emotional manipulation or drama. Do any of us have the bandwidth for that anyways? If you're usually a little too quick to rush in for the save, any save, here's a chance to allow others to manage for themselves. That last one kind of hit me though, because I do tend to even with projects here in school, when we're each given a task, if the rest of the group isn't following up on theirs and I've done mine, I would rather do those and save somebody rather than let them sink. So I do take a little bit of meaning from that last sentence there. I'll keep that in mind throughout the next week. Let you know how that works out. Something else, this is the last thing for the day, but I always like to end with some random astronomy facts. I think it's kind of fun, right? Last segment is astrology, astronomy. Couldn't be more far apart, but they're both interesting to me. Do you know our solar system is about 4.5 billion years old? Puts a lot of things in perspective when you think about time. The moon is drifting away from Earth at a rate of 1.5 inches a year, slowly going bye-bye. A person who weighs 220 pounds on Earth is going to weigh only 84 pounds on Mars. A little thing called gravity, and it's also a very good diet, apparently. Astronomers have made more than 1.4 million observations using the Hubble Space Telescope. And I think it's probably pretty expensive, so I guess they have to make sure everybody knows it was worth it. Neutron stars rotate at a speed of 600 times per second. That's insane. Scientists have discovered a hydrogen signal from a galaxy located 5 billion light years away. I've heard different things about weird signals we've been getting in space, and a lot of times it's just chemicals that we're able to teller out, like, and I don't know how the hell they do it. I don't understand the science behind it, but they say this is what, that they're able to detect hydrogen from so far away, and it makes me wonder why and what for and what, all that good stuff. Saturn, though, Saturn is made up of 96% hydrogen, and the sun never dawns on Uranus. All right, with that is how I'm going to wrap up today's show. Thank you very much if you somehow managed to make it to the end. This is Split View, just with Kramer today, but join us back next week, 3 o'clock on NorthCoastUnderground.com. See ya.